This is Todd Shante from Superhero Junkies, coming to you from Long Beach Comic Expo. We're going to go inside now and check this thing out.
Well, welcome to Superheroes and Sci-Fi on the Web. We're here to talk about how indie creators are putting everything onto the internet for their diehard fans, just stepping right past the major studios. So let's introduce our panelists. First, we have Louis Love. Louis is the mastermind of Nuke the Fridge. If you want breaking movie, TV, video game, comic book news before anybody else knows about it, nukethefridge.com. All right. Next, here he is in all his glory, in the flesh, actually, we have Todd Shante. Todd is the host of Superhero Junkies, and we're going to see some footage from his awesome new web series here today. And great news, he comes bearing gifts, free t-shirts. That t-shirt he's wearing, free t-shirts, we have them. You might get one.
Two-sided.
Two-sided? Good stuff. Finally, we're all here and so excited to see our special guest, actor, director, producer, Richard Hatch. Introduction, but I have to do it anyway because it's here on the paper. Captain Apollo, Tom Zarek, and now Klingon Supreme Commander, General Karn. We're here to see exclusive footage from his newest project, Star Trek Prelude to Axanar. So we're all very excited for that. Do we have a malfunction already?
No, we're good.
Are we doing okay?
I think so.
All right. All right. Great. So, Todd. Superhero Junkies, awesome new nerd culture web series. Nerd culture, superhero, sci-fi, action. You're in this room. You guys might pop up in our next episode, so if you see a camera, wave hi, you're going to be on YouTube.
We just want to cover everything that's cool. So, I mean, all the stuff that you see that a lot of shows can't cover, the questions that they can't ask, I will ask them. So if you've seen the show, there are no rules. So I'll talk about everything. I'll talk about what happened to Superman's red underwear, where it is now. Talk about the Flash, how fast he is in bed.
Oh no, not that.
You know.
Wait a second, I see someone under 18 in the audience.
Okay,
so
well,
I'm just going to stop you right there.
Stop you right there. But I will talk about anything and everything. And we'll meet cosplayers, we'll meet the people who create the uniforms, we'll interview a lot of interesting people, people from shows, from films, people who are creating new media for the internet.
Any Ray Wise fans? Ray Wise fans?
Ray Wise fans?
Well, he says he'll ask him anything. He asked Ray Wise what happened between him and Heather Locklear. He did not mean on set.
Yes.
So if you want to check that out, drop by our site.
Yeah, we did a two-part episode with Ray Wise, and I made a film with Ray Wise where I played his son called Sharkskin 6, and then it was retitled Crime Guys, sort of like a Pulp Fiction type film. And so, you know, I asked him some personal questions, and he did T.J. Hooker, and did T.J. Hooker too. He was a bad guy on T.J. Hooker as well. See, I know, I've got the encyclopedia of knowledge of all the 70s shows and everything. So I asked Ray at the time, you know, I said, well, you know, Heather Locklear, you were with her, and then before Tommy, what happened? He's like, well, you know, so you got to watch and see all the details of all the juicy gossip that's going on there.
Are we watching your footage now? Or?
Oh yeah, what we're going to show you now is just a couple of quick clips from Superhero Junkies, some of the guests, some of the things that are going on. But the exciting thing I'm going to show you is the Batman fight scene. Now, DC Comics, to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Batman, had asked me to play Batman, the Dark Knight, with like the Arkham Asylum outfit, and fight choreograph, because I do fight choreographing as well for films and TV, and I worked on a bunch of different shows. And basically I took 5 of my stunt guys and did a fight routine with 5 of my guys attacking me with poles, weapons, knives, brass knuckles, and everything. And this is going to show on DC All Access and special features for DC for the Dark Knight for the 75th anniversary. So we're going to show you some behind-the-scenes footage of that fight right now.
I think I just heard someone say Ben Affleck. So, Richard, you know, now that we've seen that footage, I have to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this. How do you feel about Batfleck? How do you feel about Ben Affleck as Batman? Oh my.
Well, you know, I mean, I hate to say it. Generally speaking, most of us, our judgments are myopic, and we're wrong about every judgment we make. What that means is, what you think won't work, works. What you think will work, doesn't work. The truth is, you don't know until it's all put together. It's really true. And which is not to say that the studios make a lot of intelligent decisions, okay? I'm willing to admit they frack up a lot, okay? I get that. But I always leave the jury, you know, out because I have been surprised every single time I make a judgment. Oh, are you kidding me? No, that sucks. No. And then you find out they did a great job, okay? So my thought is give him a chance, see what he does, and then you can make your judgment after you watch it, right? Right.
Wise words.
Yeah.
Lewis, Nuke the Bridge has done a ton of coverage on our new Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. Did I pronounce her name correctly?
I think so. Your guess is as good as mine.
I don't know if anyone's seen her. She's just about, you know, probably the prettiest woman I've ever seen. But I have to ask you, Lewis, since you've done so much coverage, how do you think a Wonder Woman fan film would do if someone put out something of quality? Because we haven't seen a lot of Wonder Woman on the screen.
Dude, it'll do great. Just, you know, look what Wonder Woman wears. How many?
Not that type of film.
All you have to do is like, okay, Wonder Woman, what she wears, and how many pervs are on the internet, and you got a hit. So the fan film will do great.
All right.
It's done right. I like the girl though they cast as Wonder Woman though. She's when I saw Fast and the Furious, I thought she was very pretty, and she's tall, lanky. She could get muscular. She could get muscles for the film. You know. Plus, Richard, doesn't the camera add 10 pounds? Because the complaint is that she's too skinny, right? Yeah. So if she gets 10 more pounds, the camera adds.
Well, you know what's really interesting is it depends on, you know, most people when you look in the mirror, you ever notice you look at yourself a certain way, right? You turn your head, you get a certain angle, so you look good, right? Trouble is, when you look at yourself on film, you're seeing yourself the way everybody else sees you, right? And that's when you realize, oh my God, what happened to me? You know, you look at yourself and you realize you're not as perfect as you might have hoped you were, and your nose might be a little longer, a little bigger, God knows what. It takes a long time to deal with yourself on camera. I don't care who you are, you gotta get through the horror of seeing yourself the way everybody else sees yourself. And eventually, you know, you come to terms with it. But I would say, yeah, it probably adds a little bit of weight.
Cool, so then I'd be like 350 pounds. Excellent. And anyone standing, we got plenty of room. If you want to sit down, if you're in the hallway, come on in. Everyone's welcome.
Hey guys, come on in. Todd,
Yes.
What was it like to be Batman?
It was awesome, except that suit was, I can't tell you how hot that suit was. Oh man. So,
Didn't you borrow that suit? So you're trying to tell me you sweat in it a lot?
yeah, when I took off the suit, I threw it down and you heard squish. That's how wet it was.
That
So,
is delicious.
Yeah, and then they make, you know, then they put you the black makeup on your eyes and everything. So, you know, during that time you're sweating and then the black goes down to your beard and everything, and you have to shave for it, and and then it's just all over everything. So then you have to clean yourself up for that, make sure your face isn't black, just your eyes. So you got to always clean yourself up for that. It was just super hot. The hardest part was the cape kept falling off. What I showed you is basically a slow motion version of us going through the moves with the fight choreographing the move, but when we actually shot it, it was fast. So Batman's got to move fast, and he's throwing elbows and kicking and jumping, and I jumped off the van, you saw, and that wasn't, you know, the mat was like this when I jumped off the van. But, so basically, when you put that whole routine together and you go fast, you know, you expect it, you know, everything to be still on you, but like the cape kept falling off, and then the cape was held on with Velcro, and then a metal thing that went around my neck, which was choking me the whole time. So when we first started to do it, I told the guy to come early to put on the uniform, so I got used to it. He wouldn't let us he wouldn't give me the uniform ahead of time, like a day before practice, to see how it would feel to wear the uniform.
Oh, it looks
he thought I'd run away with it. Like he couldn't find me, right?
Richard, do you care to jump in, or what kind of action can we expect
what a
to see?
whip. Jesus Christ. He's sitting there with his cape
I can see him
and he's sweating and a little hot, you know. I gotta tell you, you know, you think about all these guys, warriors in history, you know, and who fight these long battles with all that armor on, and he's sitting there going, God damn, this is like
my eye makeup.
This is my eyes.
My eye makeup. Richard, none of the guys' capes fell off though. Like, you know, I mean, like the guys from 300, they always kept their cape
Just their
on.
heads.
Yeah. So like I would turn and kick it, and I'd be like, "Great take," and I'd look down, and my cape's on the ground.
The guy
These
gets
are
to
the things
date.
we don't see in the comics.
He gets to date Catwoman. He's complaining.
Todd, when does that episode air? Do you know?
I just saw a preview of it. They showed me yesterday, and he tells me sometime in June is what he thinks. It might be July, but sometime in June. Look for it on DC All Access, and they're going to promote it. And they're actually doing it now as a 2-part episode because it was so wonderful, Richard, that they said to me, "We're going to do this as a 2-part episode."
You
Oh
can
my
see Todd
God.
is a very modest guy, very humble.
With a cliffhanger, right?
No, but what happened was they're going to do it in 2 parts just for this reason. They want to separate the Batman fight, so that's just the Batman fight, and then they're going to separate me going through the routine with the guys, so you actually see me choreograph the routine without the Batman suit on, so you see the moves, and you can go home and practice the martial arts moves by yourself, and then see the actual fight afterward. So that's why they're going to break it up into two moves. Not actually because of me, but because, you know.
So you can check that out
So
on
you can check
DC
it
All
out, but,
Access.
you know.
Let's turn the spotlight onto Richard for a second. I'm sure you guys would be very excited to do that. Richard, I saw in a previous episode of Superhero Junkies that you teach acting. Can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to do that?
Well, you know, for the past 30, 40 years, I've been teaching and lecturing all over the country. I go to colleges, universities, and just about everybody I've ever met has a curiosity about acting. You know, we all have that little fantasy when we watch our favorite show, movie, thinking about, I could play that role better than him, or, you know, God, I'd love to play that character. And I just found for me, I started acting not because I was going to become an actor, but honestly, somebody said, you know, you need a lot of help, Richard. You really do. And, no, seriously, I was very fracked up as a child. You want to hear this whole story?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
It'll be a couple of different stories. But anyway, the point is that somebody says you should go to this acting class. And I go, what acting class is that? And he goes, the Eric Morse Actors Workshop. And I said, oh, really? You mean acting, getting up in front of people, you know, having to open my mouth and talk and all that stuff? And I was terrified. And I actually went and checked it out. And there's a little sign over the door that said, no acting, please. And I thought, an acting class, and the sign says, no acting, please. What is this about? And I went in the class and I saw them doing a lot of exercises, a lot of stuff. And people don't get this. Really learning how to move through all your fears, your insecurities, learning how to stand up and express whatever you're feeling, and all the things that usually stop most people from doing what they really want to do in life. Fear, insecurity stops most people. Here, you had to learn how to connect to yourself in a more powerful way, how to make fear work for you, and learn how to really kind of move through all of that programming where we learn not to embrace who we are.
Do you have sorry to cut you off, I'm so curious, do you have a particular life experience you brought to Battlestar or your new Star Trek film?
Well, all I can say is that the experiences in that class opened up a door for me to write, direct, produce, teach, lecture, all the things that I really wanted to do but was afraid to do, and it led me into a career in New York City, San Francisco, replacing Michael Douglas, and ultimately I started, just over the past 10 years, stepping into writing, directing, producing, and putting together lots of different projects. But I found that acting class has something for everybody. So all of us can learn something, and sometimes it's the person that goes there to become an actor. It turns out to be the lawyer or the doctor, and sometimes the person who's the doctor and the lawyer ends up being the actor. You never know where acting class is going to lead you. So I kind of followed a long path that led me to where I'm now teaching around the country. I'm directing, I'm writing, I'm producing, and I've been involved, which we're going to play here today, this amazing, and this is talking about web shows, web series, web this, web that. It's amazing what technology today can do and what talented people can do. And right now, the quality of what you can produce, seriously. And networks and studios are actually looking online, looking at what people come up with, whether it's a web series, right? You know, it doesn't matter what it is, they're looking for ideas. And it's a great place to get into for very little money. You can produce a quality show. It all comes down to talent. And as you'll see on this Axanar thing, they brought together a lot of really, really talented people. Why? Because it was something that they really were excited to do. And there's a lot of talented, gifted people out there that are sitting around waiting for an opportunity.
Actually, on that note, do you want to introduce what
sure.
we're about to see?
This Axanar, how many people know about Axanar? Anybody know about Axanar? No? How many people are Star Trek fans? Yeah? Okay. Anybody seen any of the fan films that have been brought out for Star Trek? Well, this one has got several of the actors from Battlestar Galactica, including Kate Vernon, Michael Hogan, J.G. Hershler, Tony Todd. Anybody know Tony Todd? Candyman? So they have an incredible cast. They put together an incredible crew, and they did a Kickstarter campaign, and it's just amazing what they've put together so far. This is just the introduction to the prelude to Axanar, which is the introduction to the characters. They're going to film an entire movie in the fall, and it's going to be all about the war between the Klingons and the Earthlings, and it's going to cover an area that Star Trek has never gone into. So it's pretty amazing what they're doing, the scope of it, the magnitude of it. See what you think,
Yeah,
and then we can
let's
talk
roll
about
it.
it. Yeah.
All right. The original series is Axanar. Who's seen Whom Gods Destroy? Remember that episode? Okay, there's one guy. But there was this episode with an insane asylum, and there was Garth, who was basically Captain Kirk, was mentored by this. He loved this guy Garth, who had this huge reputation in Starfleet. And Axanar is basically Garth's story, and you see what happened to him in the early days. So it's really interesting. So if you've seen the original series and you watch Axanar, and you're like, oh wow, I should go see that Garth episode and see what happened to him, because now he's in this insane asylum. But this is his story, the Federation and the Klingon battle that was taking place before Kirk got involved with the series. So
Can we find that on
really,
Netflix, Tom?
really interesting.
How can we watch
Yeah,
that?
Netflix has the original Star Trek. You can watch Whom Gods Destroy was the name of the episode.
Richard, you must be quite a Star Trek fan to get involved with this type of project.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been a Star Trek fan since I was like 8 years old. I mean, when I was very, very young growing up, Star Trek, didn't matter what it was, I love great science fiction. I think what's amazing today is that, I don't know how many filmmakers are out here, any writers or filmmakers here in the group? It's just getting amazing. There's a group called The Table that literally is a network of actors, writers, directors, DPs, editors, and if you have an idea, you can sit there and come to the table and you can say, I need a DP, I need a producer, I need this, I need that, I need a location. You could say there's a little pay, there's no pay, and you can actually put together a team from tens of thousands of professionals. They're all out there not working. And you can put together something and do a presentation and sell the idea. You can pitch it. I've done 3 different shows that are just amazingly well done. And again, these Kickstarter campaigns are allowing us fans to support the kind of programming we want to see. And I don't know how many of you have watched some of your favorite shows taken off the air. How often does the networks and studios take off the shows that you love, right? Well, there's a big hole in science fiction. Even the Science Fiction Channel rarely plays any quality sci-fi.
It's all wrestling.
Wrestling on sci-fi.
But this is changing because I think the web is going to be the new place where you can do programming, series, pilots, all kinds of stuff. It's a great place to test the marketplace. So I think this is a very exciting time to be alive, and hopefully we can start bringing back some of these kinds of shows that we love. I don't know how many of you love Star Trek, Firefly. Any Firefly fans here?
Rest in peace, Firefly.
Yeah, Babylon 5. It doesn't matter what it is. There's just not been a network that's been embracing that kind of program for a long time.
So you're in control of your own destiny nowadays.
Right. And by the way, that's just a sizzle reel for the Prelude, okay? This is like a 20-minute piece. They got about another 2 months to finish it, and then they're going to film the movie in September, October. And they've never made a movie like this before as an indie film. So the interesting thing might be whether Paramount might want to license it, might want to buy it, who knows, like they do with Trekkies.
Start writing your letters.
Yeah, so, go online, check this out. There's a Kickstarter campaign going on for this that'll be starting up again in the next month or 2. But you can see the scope of what they're doing here, the quality that they're doing this with. And the director, Chris Gossick, and Alec Peters, who's producing it, it's just extraordinary what they brought together the level of talent, and they're again doing it for such. Studios take so much money to do the very same thing these people did for a minimal amount of money. So again, with your support, not only can you do these kinds of projects, but imagine the kind of shows that people can start producing when we all support those shows. And Kickstarter campaigns actually, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, something we can all afford. You can actually get these kinds of shows coming back.
I'm going to jump on what you said about Kickstarter, because I dropped by the Kickstarter and your fundraising goal was $10,000, correct?
Right.
But you didn't quite raise that, did you?
On Axanar?
For Axanar?
Yeah, they raised like $100,000.
$100,000 on
did.
Kickstarter.
By the way, they went over that like the first day. It was amazing what they did with that.
So, anything you want to say to all your backers?
Yeah, I just want to say, check it out. And again, I'm not the producer on this, okay? Alec Peters and Chris Gossick are the two instigators of putting this all together. But for all of you out there, it's kind of, I don't know about you as a sci-fi fan, but I find too little programming. There's too little support on networks and studios to do the kind of shows that I think a lot of us would like to see. And so what's opening up now is this new business model, this new way of putting projects together. And, you know, if you're a writer out there, a director, producer, you know, you come up with a great idea, you can get quality actors like you saw in this production. They're going to want to come on board and be part of it. Good scripts, good characters, good production value, and all of a sudden you create a new way to bring back the kind of programming that I think a lot of us would like to see.
Lewis, what would you do with $100,000 if you could make a fan film? You're a big Star
I'd
Wars
ask Richard out.
You'd ask Richard.
You know, I just wanted to add, too, that I've been following Richard since the original Battlestar Galactica. And I've been fortunate to meet a lot of sci-fi actors. And let me tell you, without naming any names, a lot of them aren't into what they do. We're more into the films than they are, actually. Richard's always been fighting for quality sci-fi for a long time now, okay? So we gotta support him. It's not just about like, oh yeah, we're gonna applaud right now and go home. Go on the Kickstarter. If you don't have any money, Facebook it. Help him, because he fought for Battlestar Galactica for a long time before it got relaunched, right, Richard? Yeah. You even have a little pilot. I don't know. A lot of people don't know about it. It's like a little commercial.
Nobody really. It's actually on YouTube. I'm sure people have saw it. I did this like 13 years ago. We did a trailer to, you know, inspire a revival of Battlestar Galactica, and everybody laughed at us because they said, "You can't make a trailer. They cost you a fortune. You know, studios pay $500,000, $1 million to do that, and nobody made a trailer unless they had a movie first." We went out and shot a trailer. And now, 13 years later, everybody shoots trailers to pitch their projects. But it just goes to show you that, you know, everything that everybody tells you can't do, you know what that says to me? It means it's very doable. It means go ahead and do it. Because most people, they just buy into a bunch of crap that's not true. This is a new day, a new age when anything is possible. And the technology is so sophisticated, and it's available, and there's always somebody you know who knows somebody who has the technology that you need to make the kind of project you want to make. So, you know, don't let anybody dissuade you from following your vision, your creative ideas, whatever it is you want to do, go after it, and miracles will happen, I promise you.
Exactly. We have some behind-the-scenes footage too, right?
Oh yeah, we do. You know, let's show a little. We're going to show a quick little clip. You'll see the behind-the-scenes of this Axanar Prelude project, and you'll just get a little glimpse into the expertise of what they put together.
We're getting close on time, so.
Okay.
This started late.
Just a couple of minutes.
The other panel went over.
The panel ended at 1. The last panel.
Well, I don't know how many people watched the new Battlestar Galactica series.
Everyone.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the best things is that, you know, you read in all the rag magazines how actors fight their egos, who gets more screen time, who has a bigger motorhome, all that kind of stuff. But on Battlestar Galactica, you had really, truly, probably some of the best actors I've ever worked with in my life. Some of the best writers, directors, producers. Everybody collaborated, everybody got along, everybody supported each other in actually producing, you know, the most powerful dramatic sequences. And so for me, it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had on a set. We had 5 handheld cameras. There was a collaboration between the writers, directors, and actors on that set. We got multiple takes. we got to explore the material in a really deep, profound way. And like I said, Michael Hogan has been doing theater. He's been a well-known theater actor in Canada for many, many, many years. Kate Vernon, probably, not only a sexy woman, by the way, very sexy woman. And sexy, you could, I don't care, you could, you know, be small, tall, wide, thin, whatever. Sexiness is something that comes from inside you, and she's got it. And, but she's also, like I said, incredibly smart. And, you know, when you see a production like this, you realize that good actors want good material. Good actors are hungry to be part of something unique and special. You create a place like this, and you're going to find a lot of talented people wanting to be part of it. So I'm really excited to be working with Michael again. Edward Olmos, I know, is working on a number of independent films and projects that he's putting together. A lot of these actors are working in different venues and things today, but a lot of them are looking for these indie projects. And again, I think the internet is going to become kind of the new format, the new foundation for a whole new, you know, avalanche of creative filmmaking. And I just think you're going to start seeing new series, movies, all kinds of stuff happening there. And yeah, they're going to monetize it, but I have to say this, you know, all of us used to get taken advantage of by the music industry. We'd have to pay a lot of money to get some of those CDs. And then came along iTunes, and now it was a 99-cent download. And then it was a win-win, because, you know, the artists do deserve to make some money, right, for the, you know, the work they put in. But now it's a win-win, because they make money, and at the same time, you guys pay less. But the same thing goes for the kind of programming you want to see. If you want to see better programming, especially in the fantasy, sci-fi, horror area, and you want to start encouraging all these creative, talented filmmakers, then it's these Indiegogo Kickstarter campaigns where, again, for a minimal amount of money, $10, $20, $30, $40, you get to support and help bring back this kind of programming. I think it's a really exciting time that we can be part of supporting the kind of programming we really want to see. You know?
Would it be lame if I said, could we get a So Say We All for that?
So say we all. Yeah.
Lewis, one more thing?
Yeah, well, we got a guy telling us we don't have time. So I just want to say a few things before I go. Any Doctor Who fans here? Yes. Okay. Rob Bradfield and Dante are working on a show for Nuke the Fridge based on Doctor Who. We're going to bring them back. Hopefully they get a panel for the September show here. Okay. Richard Hatch, are you going to be doing some autographs down the way?
I'll be down there for about an hour.
Okay, so the questions you couldn't ask now, maybe he'll answer them over there. He's a real nice guy.
Yeah, you don't have to buy anything. Just can come by and say hello. If you got a question, just ask a question. No worries.
And then I'm going to leave the mic to Todd.
My name's Todd.
Todd, sorry.
Are you going to Combat Con, by the way?
Which one?
Combat Con in Vegas?
If it's Vegas, I'll probably go, yeah. Yeah, I love Vegas.
Oh, really? You do? Well, but you've heard of Combat Con, haven't you?
Yeah, I just didn't know when it was. When is it?
Okay, it's next weekend, actually.
Okay, we're there. Let's go.
Have you guys ever raised up in a private conversation? That's how it sounds.
We actually have some people to thank before we give away some shirts, and I know that guy really wants us to leave, but I said I was going to give away shirts, and I keep to my word. We have some people to thank. We get all the people in Superhero Junkies.
Superhero Junkies crew. I want to get all these guys
they
in
help
the
us
front
put our
over
show
here.
on the web.
Horacio on camera. We have Walter Downey, Superhero correspondent. Chris Dubach, music, Superhero Junkies. Adonai Intemario, he has a hard last name. He does camera, also works on Superhero Junkies. Israel Marquez, Superhero Junkies. And Elizabeth Dura, Superhero Junkies. Script
Oh, you've got
supervisor.
Raphael because he's sitting now.
And where's Raphael?
There's Raphael.
Raphael. He has our shirt on, yes.
Okay, I'm giving away shirts. I'm giving away shirts. Trivia time. Who can tell me the last name of the character Sharon on Battlestar Galactica, the remake? Really? Okay, let's make it easier. Who created the new Battlestar Galactica? Really?
Richard Hatch.
You're kidding.
Everything is Richard Hatch.
With a big R. Come on, Ron, who? There you go.
All right.
All right.
You want to toss a shirt to somebody?
All right, who's going to answer?
Who did answer? Yeah, right there. Cool.
Excellent. All right, drop by the booth, get an autograph signed, say hi. take a selfie. Thank you so much for everything
Thank
today.
you guys. Take care, everybody.
So guys, it's the first room to the left, not the main room, the cosplay room. Head over there. Let's have a party. Long Beach Expo. Thank you very much for having us. Superhero Junkies.
You can see we've showed 2 parts of the Richard Hatch interview on superherojunkies.com. Part 3 will be coming soon, so watch that for part 3 as well. All right, thank you guys.